and welcome. After my failed attempt at making something from the crotch log, hopefully today I can redeem myself with this large lump of pine. Now, it's a large lump for me. It's probably besides the crotch log, it's probably the biggest chunk of wood I have attempted to put on the lathe. It does just fit. We're 8.5 inches across and up and down. That's what determined its size. Now this is the first big chunk of pine I've taken from that tree that was felled this summer. So this is a smaller branch from that tree, and I cut it into my bowl blank yesterday. And I chose this piece, one, because of its size. It will fit this lathe I have at the moment. And I chose this side of the log because it's naturally, oh, how can we put you? There. It seems to have this very flat edge here, which is where the bark has come off. It's still quite wet. I don't know how much of that is wet from sap and wet from it's been raining. Combination of the two. So stop messing around. I've marked a centre point, marked where my faceplate will fit. This one pops in there, and I don't know if the camera can see it, but I've marked around the edge my maximum bowl diameter. I am planning to make a bowl. That is the plan. A pine bowl. Slightly different for me. Up to now, most of the bowls I've made have been made with willow. I did make a pine bowl. My first tree to bowl video was a piece of pine from this same tree, a branch that I cut off last year. So I didn't cut this off the tree. The tree surgeon cut this off the tree, and I cut it to length and bowl blanked it yesterday. So now, to stop waffling, I'm going to cut these corners off, excess wood that I don't need, and get this mounted on the faceplate and see how well balanced we are on the lathe and if I have to make any more adjustments. I hope not, but we'll see. Let's see if today we can actually make something besides a piece of firewood. So I'll see you when we're all mounted up and ready to start carving into this wood. And hopefully by the end of the day I'll have a beautiful pine bowl to treasure forever. It's a big lump of wood. Oh, and it's heavy too. My shoulders are aching holding it up. So here we are back. I hope you're not too blurry because you're inside a plastic bag to protect you from the dust. So don't suffocate in there, will you? Well, sadly, here I am editing this video, and you are definitely blurrier than I would like you to be. In the past, I have wrapped you in cling film to protect you from the dust of the lathe. I have put you in a plastic bag before. I think it was okay, but this time it's definitely too fuzzy. Then you get sprayed with water and covered in sawdust. So it's not my best videoing effort ever. I've speeded up the footage so you don't have to suffer it for too long. That's if you choose to stick around at all. I think it might be worth it. Anyway, back to the video, and I'm sorry. I'll try and do better next time. So here's my bowl blank with its corners cut off. I hope it fits on the lathe. Actually, I haven't tried yet. For anyone concerned, I've taken my necklace off. I shan't be wearing it while I'm wood turning, and that's a very valid point. I don't want to be getting tangled up. And I've also put my pinny on today. I don't know why, I just thought for a change I'd wear my apron. So ear defenders, gloves. Where's my goggles? I've lost them. Oh, there they are. And my eye protection. So I'm all suited and booted and ready to go. Now, usually I do economise with effort and only put 4 screws in my faceplate. But today, because this lump of wood is very heavy, I've decided to err on the side of caution, and I've actually put in all 6. Yes, we do. We clear the lathe. Woohoo! Guess I haven't checked it. I don't know. Now it's possible my spindle gouge might actually need sharpening. Doesn't feel too bad though, so I'm going to try it and see how it goes and sharpen it in a minute if I need to. So before I even bring the tool rest into play, let's just see on slowly how badly this vibrates. Perfect. Yay! Now how do I do a thumbs up? Again, no, that way. Yay! Well, we've got a little bit of a bounce and a wobble, but that is not bad. I'm pleased with that as a start point. Just like last week, we're just bumping the banjo at the bottom of the tool rest. So I'm going to start here and tidy up this corner. So hopefully I can get the banjo under a bit further. Spindle gouge, sharpened to a slightly more angular shape than is normal for a spindle gouge, I think. Things started perfectly normal for me. Then when I speeded up the lathe, I started getting sprayed with a fine mist of water. I have had something I was carving before, wood turning, and it was spitting wet at me. I can't remember what it was. Probably that waterlogged bowl blank that I took out of my manky, smelly, stinky bucket of water. As I sped things up here to a faster speed, this is flicking wet at me. It's also flicking wet at you, I see. Good job you're in your plastic bag. We're getting a bit of something going on here. Ooh, that's a nasty cherry bit. Sharpen my chisel, definitely. I'm going to give my chisel a sharpen. Come back and see what we can do. Well, hopefully that might help. It's not much of a sharpen, just a little tip. Polish it up, really. See if we get a better cut. I'm getting a few curly shavings of wood, so that's nice. That chisel sharpening was worthwhile. I don't know if I can move this any closer now, because I'm a bit far away from that piece of wood, to be honest. How are we looking? Getting a bit of shape. We'll see how it goes. I might end up leaving a bit of live edge here, but we'll see. See how we progress. That chisel sharpening was worthwhile. Done away with the tear out I was getting. I'm glad I put my apron on. It's raining here. You're all wet. I'll get you some tissue and dry you off. This is doing really well, my wooden tool rest, staying nice and strong. Right, I'm going to pause you for a minute. Go and get some tissue and clean your screen. Well, it just goes from bad to worse. Not only is the image all foggy and blurry, now you're shaking about on the tripod. Don't get seasick, will you? Time to level out the bottom of this bowl, just to make it even more balanced on the lathe. It seems to be working fine, but I like to get the bottom flattened out. Then back up to the side for a bit more planing away. Would it be called planing? Spindling? Gouging? Chiseling? I don't know. Turning, that's what it is, it's turning. Boy, I have so much wetness flying out of here at a higher speed. I don't know where I want to go from here. This is looking nice. It's looking nice and big. I like that live edge and that one. And I want a thick rim on this bowl, a thick side wall. I was looking at my original pine bowl that I did treat a bowl, And that has quite a thick rim, and actually I like it. You're all rained on. Can we dry you off? There we go. Maybe that'll help. Or perhaps it'll just make it all streaky. I don't know. We'll find out when I edit the video. I like the bottom. I like this edge. I've got a little bit of tear out going on there. Maybe I can sand past that. I think I'd like to get rid of that though. That's a sore. A little bit more off the side. Not very much though. So let's take it off and have a look. See how I feel about it as a bowl barrel. Still a heavy lump of wood. This little lathe has done amazingly well with this ridiculous weight of wood. I should put it on the scales. Right, I'm going to, yeah, I like it. Just round that in. We're a bit sort of flat side and then roundy bottom. I just want to sweep them in together. I'll sit this on a flat surface. Well, there's a flat surface. No, we're stable, no wobble. And I want to curve that in just a bit more. Okay, back on the lathe we go. So there. Yes, that's nice. Just enough to take that sharp join off between flat and curve, so the whole thing curves round. Liking that. Okay, let's work my way through some levels of sandpaper. I'm starting at an 80, which I suspect is just too rough, to be honest. I'm not even sure I will start at an 80 on this top edge. And work my way up to a 180. So let's see where that takes us, and then I think we're ready to turn it round. For sanding, I'm going to put my old gloves on. Let's bring my big, thick, chunky gloves back into play for sandpapering. My new thin gloves came free with my new saw. Spinning wood. Here we go. And they've been very nice. I like them. Probably better than the saw. This is a strange sandpapering experience because I've got these flat bits that I've left. I don't suppose I'd have to carve much further to get rid of them, but I don't want to get rid of them. I like them. Shiny. Nice. Okay, this is the biggest bowl I've made. Well, I haven't finished making it yet. Got the middle to carve out. It could all turn to disaster. Let's hope not. Okay. I think we need to turn this one round. Turn you round, so, and mount you onto a glue block. And then while you're on the glue block, I'll go and have lunch. It's nice. I like its uneven bits. That's a saw. That's fine. And there's the tree. Yes. Ah, it's lovely. I'm very excited. Nice. So I'm going to turn this round. Oh, this is a heavy lump of wood for that hot glue to hold. Do you think it can do it? Should have put hot glue there and squish it in, as well as around the edges. Because usually I just go all the way around this edge. Lots of glue on here and there. Bridge the gap. I'll just use lots of glue. It'll be fine. Don't break my nice bowl. So for any of you new here, I don't have a big fancy metal woodchuck to attach my bowl to. So I've got the original faceplate that came with my lathe, and I've mounted that to a block of sacrifice wood that I've previously turned to a nice round shape. It just makes life easier. Initially I used it square a few times, but having carved it round, it's much better. So I attach that to my lathe. Unfortunately, my new faceplate lines up very nicely on the pointy bit at the end of my tailstock. So the hole that's supposed to screw into the lathe actually sits really comfortably over that. And I can push this in, hopefully, there we go. And lock these together nice and tightly. And screw that in a bit more. And then I use a hot glue to glue in this gap, to glue my bowl onto my wooden woodchuck. And that'll hold things nice and secure while I hollow out the insides. Okay, we're all prepared and ready. Glued onto my wooden glue block, my sacrifice wood block. Tool rest all set up for the middle. Gonna have a play with my new bowl gouge properly at last. It's been nice and sharp. I have put it against a piece of wood once or twice, but I've not yet carved a bowl with it. So let's see if this can be its first bowl. I have to say I'm a little nervous because this is a big heavy lump of wood, and it's definitely the heaviest thing I've glued with the hot glue. So I'm a little nervous it might come flying off. But as I'm going to be up this side, hopefully if it does, it'll fly across the room and miss me. So here goes. I'm sorry folks, I just realised you're in the wrong place. You don't want to be up there while I'm carving up the inside of the bowl. Sorry folks, I started without you. I didn't realise you were looking from above and you can't see inside the bowl from up there. I need to change your position. So hopefully now you'll get a better view of what's going on. Right, here goes for bowl carving. Oh my, what happened there? Let's see that again more slowly. Well, I didn't see that. I had my back turned as I'm looking for my other chisel, which is probably a good thing. It didn't hit me though, made me jump, and it seems to have survived intact. So the bowl survived the flying across the room. I'm obviously going to have to glue it on again though. Recentering it is going to be harder because I've already cut away this middle that my faceplate was screwed onto. Oh, I know. I can still use that centre point with my tailstock because that's still marked. So I can use my tailstock in there to centre things up against my glue block. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to re-glue it onto here again and bring my tailstock up to line it up there. Boom. Hello. Okay, bearing in mind that this just came flying off the lathe, I've glued it back on again, but I'm going to leave my tailstock in place, screwed into it for the moment. We've still got this centre point. It's not good for filming, I don't think. Got my tool rest just fits in between these two. So let's see if we can get some weight off of this bowl. That might help it stay. Mind you, it's wet. I think the wetness is the problem. And I've had to go with my bowl gouge, and it's just, I like it, but it's strange. I'm not used to it. So I'm going to use my spindle gouge sharpened to a bowl gougey shape, because I just want to get this bowl hollowed out. And maybe for the last few finishing passes I might use the bowl gouge. I might go back to it again in a minute, I don't know. So let's see how we get on. Okay, let's brave it and see if we can take that middle nub out without the whole bowl flying off the lathe. Now we've lost a lot of weight. Hopefully it'll be able to. First, let's tidy up my workstation. Wood shavings everywhere. Yay! Oh, it's all splattered up the wall. Ooh, well, I hope I don't spoil it now. It's looking good. Let's take this nub out without removing the whole bowl. It's a bit fiddly. I'm not really sure which chisel to use. Try them all and see which works best. Yay, there it goes. Bouncing off the table. Now to make the bottom nice and smooth. It's looking good. Yay, my biggest bowl ever. Nice. Things are looking quite good. I've given it a sand. I say it's the biggest bowl I've made so far. Let me go and get my previous largest bowl and we can compare. Ugh. So these are my previous biggest bowls, my most recent wet willow log that's still only been oiled. There's no shellac on here yet. Another willow bowl. This is quite a bit bigger. Doesn't seem much when you're only an inch around the edge, but it makes the inner volume quite a lot larger. Where can I put you? There. Bowl to bowl. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased. I'm going to mineral oil it. That's what I'm going to do. And the oil can drive out the wet. I'm all covered in sawdust. Let's go and get the mineral oil and put some oil on this bowl. Yay! All finished. My biggest bowl yet. Off the lathe and drenched in mineral oil. We're actually 7¼ inches diameter across the inside and a little bit wider on the outside edge, of course. And I'm loving it. It's really nice. I would call it rustic. A big, chunky, rustic pine bowl. I left these outside live edges, and this is where I've carved the round shape. I don't know, are they called live edges when there's no bark on it? Is this a live edge? Maybe someone will let me know in the comments if I should be calling this a live edge or not. It's where the tree grew, it's not the shape I carved it. But yes, so here's my finished bowl and I'm very pleased. It's lovely. I was about to say the first bowl I've made out of the big tree that the tree surgeon felled this summer. But it's not. I did make a small pine bowl when I first got my lathe. But that's a branch that I sawed off the tree. So that enormous pine tree has so far provided me with 2 beautiful pine bowls. And I love them both. So after the disaster with my crotch log the other week, I think I've successfully redeemed myself. I can make a bowl. And a big one too. Some of you might be laughing. It's a tiny little bowl, but for me it's the biggest one I've made yet, and I'm very pleased. So that's it for today. Bye for now, and we'll see you next time. And remember, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.